Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Neurosci IQ. A solar eclipse is one of nature's most awe-inspiring phenomenons. But did you guys know that admiring this phenomenon with the naked eye carries serious risk to our vision? In this episode, we will be covering why you should never look at the solar eclipse with just your eyes. In general, a solar eclipse occurs when the moon passes between the Earth and the Sun. This causes the view of the Sun to be blocked from a small region on the planet. And as you can see from the diagram, we have the Sun, and when the moon comes in front of the Sun, it blocks the view of the Sun from the perspective of the people on Earth. Many people believe that looking at the Sun during an eclipse isn't very dangerous. But this isn't true. In fact, when you're looking at the sun during regular conditions or when it's very bright outside, we see that our pupils, which are the black circles in the middle of our eyes, constrict. This is an adaptation for our eyes to let in less light when there is plenty of light. From this diagram, you can see that under bright conditions, there is less light entering our eyes since the pupils have constricted. Conversely, when there is not plenty of light outside or it's in a dim light condition, then our pupils dilate so that more light can enter the eye. So what happens essentially during an eclipse? It's that since it is not very bright outside and the sun isn't very visible, we see that our pupils dilate, and this actually causes a lot of high energy intensive waves to enter our eyes since the pupils have dilated and they are letting in a lot of light, which makes it very dangerous for our eyes. Now you might be wondering, how does sunlight or high energy waves such as UV rays damage our vision in the first place? Most people naturally think that when the sun rays enter our eyes, it brings up the heat in our eyes, and this causes the neurons to die. However, recent studies have shown that the main or the primary effect or mechanism that causes our vision to deteriorate is actually due to photochemical toxicity reactions that kill our neurons after getting exposed to UV rays. For example, after the high energy light hits the back of our eye, such as the retina, this causes the formation of highly reactive oxygen species or radicals, and these radicals are very deleterious or harmful to the polyunsaturated fats in the membranes of our cells. So essentially, after these radicals are formed, they really inhibit a variety of cell functions, but one of the main mechanisms is that they really disrupt membrane formation, and this causes the neurons or other cell types to undergo apoptosis and leads to permanent damage. Additionally, during an eclipse, there is a false sense of security because most people think that since the sun isn't very bright during an eclipse, then it is very safe to look at it, which leads to extended periods of people looking directly at the sun. Furthermore, during an eclipse, since it is not as bright outside, we try to focus on the object or, for example, the moon's details, and this causes more light to be focused on the retina, which is the back part of our eye and is very sensitive to light. Furthermore, there is no pain receptors in our eyes to really warn us about looking away and making sure that we are staying safe. Lastly, protective measures such as vitamin E get overwhelmed when we are constantly looking at the sun for even a few seconds, because vitamin E exists in the membranes to help stabilize the membrane. But unfortunately, even looking at the sun for a few seconds causes the natural protective measures to be overwhelmed, and this leads to the membranes to get disrupted and leading to cell death and permanent damage. This isn't try to scare you. There is plenty of ways that we can enjoy the upcoming eclipse safely without damaging our eyes. First, we can use Eclipse glasses, and these are not sunglasses, but the filters on these Eclipse glasses use something that it's called neutral filters, and neutral filters basically block out almost all the powerful rays, and this allows us to be able to look at the sun during the eclipse. Secondly, we can make a pinhole camera outside, and this is one of the safest ways to look at the sun. And if you do not know how to make a pinhole camera, there is plenty of good and easy tutorials on YouTube that you can look up. Lastly, we can also look at the sun with cameras or telescopes that have special filters. Please don't look at the sun if your camera doesn't have this special filter, because it will magnify the sun rays onto your eyes, and this is extremely dangerous. Thank you for listening to this episode, and I hope you stay safe during the eclipse and have an amazing time.